Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So I'm here today again with the Unihertz Titan Slim, which a lot of you have remarked is not so slim. And I mean, yeah, I got to give that to you. I'm not sure. Of course, we know why they called it slim, because their last couple of phones, the Titan Pocket, have been a little bit more industrial, a little bit more beefy. When you put them side by side, you can definitely see that it's slimmed down, mostly on being a rugged phone. And they probably could have called it something a little bit better than the Slim. That probably would have gotten a lot less people going, okay. But the interesting thing about this phone is I think a lot of what it does is it still demonstrates a proof of concept that's kind of been lost in the framework over the last, well, basically since this guy right here. The Blackberry Key 2 LE was made 4 years ago. And it's funny because a lot of people, again, also say, well, why is it so much bigger? Well, here's the thing. When you have a big multi-billion-dollar company making a phone, they can make customized components, they can make things thinner, they can do this stuff and put it into a more tight and consolidated package. When you don't have that, and you're not using a lot of customized parts, when you're using a lot of stuff that's older, and when you're trying to put it together and make a phone around what's available, which appears to be what they do, you get something like this. Now, I will remark, though, that in using this phone, it actually has a nice feel to it. And as unconventional as it may seem, it's not that bad, because it can be a little off-putting sometimes when you have a phone that's so thin, because when you're trying to hold on to it and type on it, there's not a lot to grab onto down there. So I think a balance can be struck there. I don't want people going around, or I don't want to crucify this phone for that very purpose, because one, it's a Kickstarter phone. This is being made by a company that this is their MO. Basically what they do is they create this project phone that they think people want, which they've been on the money. You look at the Unihertz Titan, a lot of people wanted that. The Titan Pocket, that one sold out. I don't think they've had a Kickstarter program that has not been funded yet and exceeded their goal. I fully expect the same thing to happen with this one. And I can say if you like the Unihertz Titan or Titan Pocket, you will probably like this one, because they have definitely made a lot of improvement in this department, the keyboard. The biggest thing here is the tactility. This is the best keyboard that they made so far as the texture, as far as the size of the keys, as far as trying to type on it. And maybe also because this is a third iteration. Like, I learned how to use the Titan. I learned how to type on the Titan Pocket, which I have here. And the buttons on this are just, I kind of liked them. They were better than the Titan, but they were still too hard to push. And I heard that they kind of changed things up a little bit when it came to maybe the second production run with the Titan Pocket and made the keys better. But again, the other limitation that you had over here was the screen size. Not a very big screen. So enter stage left, the Titan Slim. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I feel like they're learning every time that they come around and make a new device. But at the same point in time, does this equal this? And that's going to be the question a lot of BlackBerry users are going to have to answer in their mind, because a lot of people want a new phone, and I don't blame you. We thought for the longest time we were going to get an on-mobility phone that was going to replace our dying, aging BlackBerry mobile devices, and then that didn't happen, and then these guys show up with a new phone. So I got to give them kudos. The timing on this project couldn't be better, because there's a lot of people that probably want this right now, but I got a mixed bag. And I even put up a poll. There are some people that like it, some people that think they want to get it, and this is all sight unseen. They haven't officially launched the Kickstarter yet, letting people know what the price is, what the specs are. My review will be able to come out very soon. That's not what this is. But talking about the phone itself, yeah, I've been using it for the last week. I've been learning it. I've been doing a lot of stuff with this phone. And I think it's safe for me to say that it's the best keyboard that they have made yet. I like the keyboard a lot more than I did the previous ones. But it doesn't have the same sheen and luster. This right here, the Titan Pocket, looks like they put a lot more into the design process. Like this guy right here, into the design, the way that it looks, the aesthetics. It looks like a pretty complete phone. It's just a very heavy, bulky phone with a very low center of gravity and a very small screen. And then we have this guy over here, a very, very big departure. But I don't think that that's bad. I feel like they are trying to make a more mainstream phone, and I feel like they've done that. Getting away from this rugged design, I think, is good for them, because to appeal to more people, you don't want something that weighs a pound. I mean, it doesn't really weigh a pound, but it's a very heavy and bulky phone. You want something with a little bit more finesse, more pizzazz, something that's more streamlined and sleek. And the two biggest things that I have going for this, of course, is an updated version of Android and this keyboard. So combining these two things together, yes, I think that there's a recipe here that Unihertz has been able to put together now that they've learned from their last two phones. So I think ergonomically there's some good stuff here that I think that people who want this phone will appreciate. But it's still also a Unihertz phone. So there's some balancing of equities here for somebody who's interested in getting this phone and wanting to use it for a daily driver. But as far as I've been using it so far, the apps work out fine. The screen, pretty much on par with the other devices. It actually, I think, seems better than the original Titan screen. It's been a while since I've used it, but I think there are some improvements, and you would have to, right? Because there have been improvements in the parts they've been able to get a hold of over the last couple of years. So when you take a look at the Titan Slim versus the Titan Pocket versus the original Titan, I think that there's definitely some stuff that has improved here, but is it enough that it makes it a viable phone that people are going to want to use? And I think that question, of course, is going to get answered in the Kickstarter. I'll be able to answer that question from my perspective more once my review is out. But I wanted to come back and circle around and talk about it because I'm seeing a lot of stuff in the comments. Oh, I was waiting for a new keyboard phone, and I'm just going to... this is a complete miss for me. Or it's way too fat. I don't want it because of that. And honestly, the heft actually is kind of it's actually kind of nice. That's one of the least things that I would complain about on this phone. So... and I don't want to leave anything out there that people are like, oh, it's veiled, I'm looking into this. So you're going to know my exact thoughts in about a week whenever I can put this full review out. But at this point in time, I would say, okay, we know this is a Unihertz phone. It's not a Blackberry phone. And that right there is going to be a turnoff for some people just straight out of the gate. They'll try it, they'll pick it up, and just because it's not a Blackberry, they won't want it. There are people that will be interested in it from using it from a keyboard perspective to try it out for the first time. And then they'll be like, you know what? I like a regular phone better than a physical keyboard phone. There is a segment of the population out there that still wants something like this. And I got to say that I'm very glad that Unihertz is committed to continuing to try and improve their process and to continue to making these physical keyboard phones because they're the only ones really doing it. And they're getting better and better at it each iteration. And this is a new departure for them. Again, the last two have been rugged designs. This one is a non-rugged design. Maybe they could have called it something else. I don't know. Slim definitely isn't what the first thing that comes to mind when I look at the phone. But I wanted to come back and make another video about it so I could talk to you about it some more. Talk about it from maybe a 5,000 foot level. It does have a physical keyboard and it does have a more recent relevant version of Android on here with swipe gestures, which is something that we really missed out on. It's something that I wanted for so long on an Android Blackberry because coming from Blackberry 10 having swipe gestures and then going to an Android-based system with nothing but buttons, capacitive buttons back and home and all that stuff, really never felt fluid. The Android Blackberries always felt a little disjointed and they weren't quite on the same level as the Blackberry 10 experience. So by the time we got there, the experiment with Blackberry Mobile ended, and then this is the closest thing to what I wish that we would have got for so many years in one of these guys, because when it comes to the Key 2, the Key 2 LE, the Key 1, having swipe gestures, having a more relevant, modern, updated operating system would have, I think, opened up and done light years for the phones, because that's what keeps me from using them. If I had Android 11, Android 10 on my Key 2 or Key 2 LE, I would still be using it right now. But it just drives me absolutely crazy trying to use the capacitive buttons down on the bottom of the screen and the gestures and all that stuff, missing that, going from using those phones all the time, trying to go back. It just feels, it's so frustrating. So this guy right here, all about the swipe gestures, all about the more updated version of Android. The keyboard is definitely an improvement. They continue to improve that, and it's definitely, that's the selling point for this phone, I'm going to tell you right now. So that's about it on this video. I know it's not quite the most streamlined thing, there's a lot of discussion here when it comes to these phones, because I do like the idea. I like what they're trying to do. I like the direction that they're headed in, and it leaves me hopeful for what the next one might be as well, because maybe the next one, maybe they will be able to raise some more money, maybe they will be able to make it a little bit thinner, maybe they will be able to refine it a little bit more, and that's some good things to hope for. But the product we get right now is definitely a Unihertz phone. When it does come to this phone, though, there's definitely some things to be excited about. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about it, a lot of concerns about the hardware, concerns about the network compatibility. That's stuff that will have to get answered. But right now, purely from taking a look at the phone, using it, and the stuff on the surface level, there's definitely some stuff to like here, that's for sure, and there's definitely some stuff that's not, some stuff that you probably won't like, and that's going to be, I think that's going to be a more individual thing for each person. There's going to be some people that are like, okay, I like this, I can live with this, and some people are like, you know what, I'm going to pick this up, I haven't used a keyboard in a while, and then they might go, you know what, it's just not as magical as I remember it, and that's not necessarily the fault of the phone. But in 2022, how many people are really as committed to using a physical keyboard phone as they used to be, with so much time moving away from that and using a slab, right? So I think that we're going to get a mixed reaction when this phone does hit the street for that very reason right there. I think some people may go into it with expectations that won't be able to be met, and that's not necessarily the fault of the phone as much as it is that, well, we've gotten used to using something that looks like this as opposed to something like this. And it certainly doesn't have flagship specs. And that's something that's going to be interesting to look at. So that's all I've got in this video. Going to go ahead and wrap it up. Again, full review coming very soon. I wanted to talk about the phone and talk about some of the stuff from my experience and some observations since I've been using it, and relay that stuff to you, because I've had so many people asking me questions, and I feel bad sitting here like, okay, I can't make a review video yet. I can't make a review video yet. It's coming. It's coming. It'll be here next week, and then all the answers to the universe will be unraveled before your eyes in that video. But for now, that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please head down in the comment section. I will get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.